No, flat thing. Okay. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا ومولانا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة باللسان يفقه قولي نويت التعلم وتعليم وتذكر وتذكير النفع والانتفاع والإفادة والاستفادة والحث على التمسك بكتاب الله وبسنة رسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم والدعاء إلى الهدى والدلالة على الخير ابتغاء وجه الله مرضاته وقربه وثوابه سبحانه وتعالى. Okay, so inshallah we are continuing on our discourse on this the tafsir of the 30th juz. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allows us to increase in understanding of the Quran. Every gathering of Quran, every gathering generally of Deen, one of the things that we'll discuss in this is this issue of when a person is alone. When a person is alone, a person will struggle. Okay, it's very difficult to remain firm when you're on your own because that's the time of the shaitan. It's like easy pickings for a human being. Okay, because you have the shaitan from the outward and you have the nafs from the inward. So whenever there's a gathering, be it kind of a physical gathering or a cyber gathering, like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brings blessings in that. And like everybody who's present in the gatherings, not only we know about the hadith that Allah, the angels come down, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala envelops all of those who are present, and Allah asks, and the angels see forgiveness for all those who are present, but also like we feed off other people's spirituality. And that's the most important thing. So these are boosts for us, inshallah, and we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to increase in iman. So Surah al-Asr. Now Surah al-Asr, mashallah, tabarakallah, the nature of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, like if we thought that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam had depth in his words, like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has extreme depth in his words. And part of kind of unlocking the greatness of the Quran is to unlock the language of the Quran and deeper meanings within each of the alfaz, each of the words. So this is a small surah, Makki surah, revealed in Makkah, and is of 3 verses. Okay, although we will notice that it's actually just like one sentence. The entire thing is one complete sentence, and it has a beautiful coherence from start to end. One of the things that we notice is that it starts with a qasam. It starts with an oath. Okay, wal asr. That wow is an oath. Okay, and generally oaths relate to something that is sacred, something that is powerful, and something that is magnificent. Okay, that's generally what oaths signify. Okay, and so this is really important. Do you need a pen? No? Okay, I thought that's fine. Right. Another thing is the surah is termed al-Asr, which means time. However, and there's a hadith in in Sahih Muslim where the Prophet ﷺ said that Allah says that inna ibn al-Adam yasubbu dahr, that indeed the son of Adam, i.e. mankind, abuses time. Wa innani dahr, Allah says, I am time. Okay, and the ulama kind of explain this, that Allah is the controller of time. Allah is beyond time. Allah is the one who starts time, ends time, stops time, is beyond this concept of time. But the point is the first part of the hadith, that indeed the son of Adam abuses time. And what we have noticed, we will notice, if we look at the surah that is before this surah, which is Surah At-Takathur. And Surah At-Takathur, as we mentioned last time, speaks about those people, what the actions of people that cause them to be of those who abuse time. So Alhaakumut Takathur, that the attempts to increase takathur, to increase in like the world, like to go to run after the dunya and to increase in it and to become embellished in all of its beauty, quote unquote. Al-Hakum, it's kind of like destroyed you, it's kind of diverted you. حتى زرتم المقابر. Even to the extent where like you just constantly after the dunya, and you just end up in your graves. Okay. حتى زرتم المقابر كلا سوف تعلمون. In reality, you will find out. ثم كلا سوف تعلمون. Yes, definitely. And then again, you will find out. Meaning that you will find out that all of this endeavor was in vain. This endeavor of increasing in trying to get the great riches of this earth, it was all in vain. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives that as a backdrop. Then He speaks specifically about this concept of time, okay, and how man is in an extreme amount of loss as a result.
When did this surah come in?
So Takathur is the next one. Before this,
okay.
Because we're going backwards, right? So this is what Allah speaks about time, and then think about the one that we did last week, al-Humaza. Al-Humaza was what? Like we said, the most graphic kind of description about hellfire. So you can see this. So the first surah, which is Al-Hakum Takathur, speaks about those who abuse time and they waste their time. Al-Asr speaks about the concept of time and the importance of using the time well. And then Al-Humaza speaks about the natija, the end goal for those people who wasted their time. Okay? You see, that's the correlation. Like, wal-Asr. Okay? So as we said, so this is an ayah that begins with a qasam. Wal-Asr. Okay? Now, whenever there's an oath in the Quran, it has two implications. Okay? Here, ultimately, it's requiring us to reflect. Okay, to reflect. And here in particular, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying like by time, yani, reflect on the passage of time. How every single moment, we are generally just in loss. Like there's an end goal, there'll be an end time, and we're just moving closer and closer and closer and closer and closer to it, right? And we're always going to be in a state of loss with respect to time, because the nature of time, like when they said time's up, like our time will come up. So every single day, every single hour, minute, moment, we are in a state of loss. As far as like if you were to calculate how many seconds we have, it's going slowly. It's like sometimes you reflect like you have the what is like egg timer, right? You just turn it over, you just see slowly it's going less. That in and of itself is the nature of time. Okay, in and of itself is the nature of time. Now, the word asr. Okay, there's different words for in Arabic for the word time in English, but the word asr itself means time that is running out quickly. Okay, so like for example, Salatul Asr. Okay, it's the last prayer of the daylight hours. Okay. And like particularly like for example, you'll see in Arab countries, like they kind of end their day as far as work is concerned by the end of Asr. So you'll notice like towards the Asr time, people are rushing in the aswaq, in the souks, or in the Arab lands. They're running, they're rushing, they're trying to get their stuff done, and it's rushing because time's up. That's it. Daytime's going. People are not going to be out anymore. Okay. And there's different words for, like I said, the different words for time in the Quran. Like for example, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He speaks about the subh. Okay, that's a time, the morning. Okay, was-subhi idha asfar. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Mudaththir. Okay, also a concept of time, fajr. The word fajr itself, it relates to a specific time, i.e., the time of dawn. Okay, duha likewise is a time of like mid-morning. Okay, nahar is like as a connotation of time, like daytime. Okay, what's interesting, like a beautiful analogy that one of the ulama said, let's say you're in an Arab country and you're selling ice, right? Now you have to sell it quickly, right? Because if you don't, it's gone, it's melting. That is life. Like you have an ice block, okay, and as seconds go by, it's melting slowly and slowly and slowly. Okay, if you don't make use of it now and you waste it, you'll have nothing left. Just like that person who's trying to sell ice. Okay, if he doesn't sell it, it will all go to waste. And you might have spent lots of money trying to get these ice blocks. It's all going to melt though, isn't it? Just like our life. You can almost imagine like the drops of the ice block are like seconds going, going, going. Time is just going, okay? And we have to use that ice block, use that time that we have before it's too late. So whenever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala swears by something in the Quran, number one is to give us attention, and number two is for us to reflect. Okay? Like wake up, al-Asr, wake up, okay? By time. Allah then qualifies this and says, Innal insana lafi khusr. Indeed, man is surely in loss. Surely in loss. Now, I want you to look at this ayah, okay? Innal insana lafi khusr. Okay? Here, there are two kind of agents of emphasis. What are the two agents of emphasis? Inna. What else?
Okay.
Nope.
La.
La. Yeah, la.
La.
So inna is emphasis indeed, and that la also is a tawheed, right? Now, the more emphasis that comes in a sentence, right? What that means is two things. First of all, it's speaking to more people. Okay? It's speaking to more people. So the khitab, the discussion becomes more and more. Okay? And in addition, it becomes more general. So here, Allah, we are saying, indeed, mankind is surely in loss. Indeed, connoting inna, and surely connoted by the la. Now, what this is trying to say is that all human beings, Muslim, non-Muslim, old, young, everybody, every single human being is in a state of loss. And that's not only a statement that is kind of is true, but it's obvious as well. Like everyone's gonna die, no matter whether you believe or you don't believe. Everyone knows that they're going to die. Everyone knows that it's all going to come to an end. Okay. The point being is that because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has an inna, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has a la here, this is a kind of it's almost like a statement that is making it more and more general. That every single person definitely is in a state of loss. Even more interesting than this, the word for mankind, like mankind as a general in Arabic, is what?
Nas.
Nas. But Allah doesn't use nas here. He uses insan. Insan means man, singular. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He's saying innal insana, it means indeed man is in a state of loss. Okay, what does that do? That personalizes the discussion. Because if you say like mankind, then what happens to people? Oh no, I'm not in loss. No, that guy's in loss. No, that person's in loss. Like whenever you kind of make the affair general, then people just like to shift the blame, basically. Right? People like to say, "Oh, it's not me." But when you make it specific and individual, say, insan, indeed, man, every single man is in a state of loss, then it becomes a personal thing. And that's one of the things that we have to think about when we engage in the Quran, that we have to make this a personal thing. Allah is speaking to you directly. Like we said, oftentimes like we read in the Quran and we hear about like, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks about certain types of people. We're like, yeah, I know someone like that. Isn't it? No, it's you. And sometimes there are sicknesses within ourselves that Allah speaks about and we just don't even know it. And part of the sickness is we think it's someone else. Okay, we ask Allah for protection and we ask Allah to open our eyes. So the point here is that Allah brings the word insan on purpose. Why? To make this a specific discussion to each and every single one of us. In addition to that, this word insan has this root word nisyan. And nisyan, as we know, means to be forgetful. So insan, by its nature, is forgetful. Okay, like we know that our time is precious, and we know that as every second goes by, hour goes by, day goes by, week, months, years go by, we are in loss. But man forgets. Man forgets his purpose. Man forgets why he's here. Okay. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is bringing this here. In addition to that, one of the things that is interesting, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brings this concept often in the Quran, that the nature of the human being is that upon Yawm al-Qiyamah, Allah subhanahu yani, the human being will be by himself. And there are many ayats of the Quran that speak about this. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say, يَوْمَ يَفِرُّ الْمَرْءُ مِنْ أَخِيهِ, the day when the man will run from his brother. The brother will run from his brother. وَأُمِّهِ وَأَبِيهِ, and run from his mother and run from his father. وَصَاحِبَتِهِ وَبَنِيهِ, and run from his wife, his spouse, and run from his children. Like, what type of day is that when you're going to run away from those people who you cling to on the dunya? You run away from them Yawm al-Qiyamah. And also, like another ayah that powerful, like in Surah Ma'arij, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, يُبَصَّرُونَهُمْ, that you will see each other Yawm al-Qiyamah. Like, you'll see your family, or you see all those people on the Day of Judgment. يَوَدُّ الْمُجْرِمُ لَوْ يَفْتَدِي مِنَ الْعَذَابِ يَوْمَئِذٍ بِبَنِيهِ. On that day, the criminal will desire to ransom himself with his children. Just even the criminal, I just want to be away from everyone. Yeah. وَصَاحِبَتِهِ وَأَخِيهِ, and his wife and his brother. وَفَصِيلَتِهِ الَّتِي تُؤْوِيهِ, okay, and the relatives who sheltered him, and وَمَنْ فِي الْأَرْضِ جَمِيعًا ثُمَّ يُنْجِيهِ, and all that is on the earth altogether, so it might save him. So the person on that day is willing to forgo everybody just so that he'll be saved. SubhanAllah. And then Allah says, كَلَّا إِنَّهَا لَضَى. No, in reality, the end game is just to fire. So point is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what is he trying to say here? The innal insana, indeed man, individually man, is in a state of loss. So wake up, man, because just as you are in a loss in this world, you will be in a loss in Yawm al-Qiyamah. The problem is Yawm al-Qiyamah, no one's going to be there, and you're not going to be with anyone either. You're not even going to want to be with anybody either. So you better work hard and ensure that you do goodness now, okay, rather than facing loss in the life to come. Our real mettle as believers, like I said, is tested when we are alone. When we are alone, that's when we find the most difficulty. That's when we find ourselves going to sin. Because the shaitan, like we see in Surah An-Nas, yuwaswisu fi sudurin nas. Okay, he whispers in the hearts of man. Now, it's very easy when you're with other people to be protected, because other people can like encourage you towards good, and like I said, you feed off other people's spirituality. But when you're alone, that's when the test is. So Allah is saying here, individually, man, you are in loss. So strive towards good when you're alone. Make that effort and struggle when you are alone, because when Yawm al-Qiyamah comes, which is a day when you're going to be alone, that's when you will not be in loss. But if you find yourself in loss now, then how, what do you expect Yawm al-Qiyamah? That's the point. So, like, bringing back to that concept of the ice block, like, before the ice melts, do some good with it. Use it for something, okay? All right? And like the imagery that is being brought here is this kind of concept of like, emergency. Like, by time you're in loss, like, do something quickly. Okay, before it's too late. Before that ice melts and goes and you're going to have literally nothing left, do something quickly before it's too late. Okay? One of the things that we find from the sunnah of the companions, radiyallahu anhum ajma'in, is that whenever they would be together, what would be the thing that they would recite when they would leave? This surah, al-Asr. Why? Because when you're together, again, this concept that you're together, you may remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala together. You might, and the nature of the human being generally, when he's around good people, around any people, the human being doesn't want to expose his bad in front of others. Okay? Doesn't want to. And so when other people are there, he wants to be good. But then this surah is recited, the companions recite it to remind them, listen, now you're going to be leaving. Now you're on your own. Now, remember, whilst you're alone, whilst no one's there, remember, time is going to be going. Time, it's melting. It's melting away. So don't be a person who loses out. Now, this word khusr. Now, there's different derivations. So khusr comes from khasira, which means to lose something. Okay, to lose something. Another point that we learn from khusr, okay, is that it's a noun, and all of the words in this sentence are nouns. Now, what do we know about nouns? They show permanence. So there's never a time, in and of time itself, there's never a time when There's never a kind of a situation when you're going to be in increase. There's never going to be a situation when you're, okay, I've got loads of time now. No, in reality, it's just going less and less. Okay? So therefore, Allah brings nouns here because to show permanence. Like, you are going to be in loss. There's no turning back. There's no like stopping. Not like a verb where you have like, a verb is like time bound. Okay, then you like on and off. Okay, here it's always going to be lost. Insan, al-insan, noun. Okay, fi, not even bound by time. Okay, particle. And then khusrin, okay, loss again, noun. So these nouns, what are they showing? They're showing a sense of permanence. In addition to that, this word khusr, okay, it's in nakira state. It has no al, khusrin. And so what that means is it is not specified. Therefore, it means an abundant amount. An abundant amount of. Whenever we see the nakira state like that, it's in an abundant amount of. Okay. Whereas when you have an al, then it becomes specified. Okay. Like for example, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He will speak about in Surah Alam Nashrah, which we'll go into eventually. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, He speaks of, it's a direct kind of discussion with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, giving him solace. And He says, Inna ma'al usri yusran. Okay, inna ma'al usri yusran. Now, al-usr, okay, is one type of difficulty. So, inna ma'al usri yusra, that after difficulty comes ease. That's how we would translate that. But if you look more deeper in that, the al here is defining the difficulty as a specific type of difficulty. But then the usran with no al and tanween at the end means that abundance amount. So you have a specific type of difficulty, but guess what's going to come after? Loads and loads and loads and loads of ease. So that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bring the al with respect to the difficulty and not with respect to the usr, the ease. And so likewise here as well, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that, because there's no al here and there's tanween, khusrin, what that means is an abundant amount of loss the person will find himself in. Okay. Now there's different derivations of the word khasira, of this word of loss. Okay. One is khusran. Okay, khusran. And this is an ultimate type of loss. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks in Surah Al-Hajj about those people who are, when they are struck by trials, okay, when they're struck by difficulty, okay, وَإِنْ أَصَابَتْهُمْ فِتْنَةٌ إِنْقَلَبَ عَلَى وَجْهِهِ خَسِرَ الدُّنْيَا وَالْآخِرَةِ. That a person, when they go through difficulty, they just turn their face away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, they're not interested anymore. Oh, I can't take it. I just can't do it anymore. They are the ones khasira dunya wal akhirah. They have lost in this world, in the akhirah. What does Allah say that? ذَلِكَ هُوَ الْخُسْرَانُ خُسْرَانُ الْمُبِينُ. That's the clear, ultimate loss. When you go through difficulty and you lose total hope, and you just, I can't do it anymore, that's khusran, ultimate loss. Because you lost out totally in the dunya and you lost out totally in the akhirah. But this is not that type of khusr. I'm just mentioning to you the different type. Another one is khasar. Khasar. Kha, sin, alif, ra. This is when a person is in a bit of trouble, and they're just adding more and more trouble to themselves. So they're in loss and they're just adding more and more. Okay. This Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will speak about this in the Quran in Surah Nuh. When Prophet Nuh alayhi salam, he makes dua to those people who were rejecting his message, and he says, "Rabbi innahum asawni wattaba'u man lam yazidhu malahu wa waladuhu illa khasara." That, oh Allah, these people, okay, they have rejected me, okay, and they have followed that which did not increase them in wealth and children, okay. Except in loss, illa khasara. So all they were worried about, money and progeny. They weren't worried about the Lord. And so all they did in their attempt to just try and increase in that, they just only increased in khasar. So they're already in a state of loss, but their obsession was just that, money and children. Okay, and so this illa khasara, except they just found themselves in most types of loss. So what is the difference between those and this word here, khusr? Kha sin ra with the dhamma on the kha. This khusr in and of itself means to be in an extreme amount of loss, but it also has this connotation of like a transaction. So like, you know, you suffer in business, for example, you know, you put everything into something and it just fails, okay, like an investment. Or let's say, for example, you've been shocked or you've been deceived or tricked, okay. Someone subhanAllah told me today about, like, you know, they were in London and they're trying to find a flat somewhere, okay. So they just go on a random website, short-term apartments to let.org or something, right? And Bijara is from abroad, right? So he's like, you know, you see, you hear that kind of website, you automatically think, mm-mm. So poor guy, he spent like £600-700 and it was a scam. Yeah, and he's upset because he's like, you know, I'm leaving the UK now. I'm not even going to come back here. I've just lost so much money. Loss, isn't it? Right? You feel like tricked. You feel that's the upset. Okay. Now, the point is that, you know, often, and particularly like we've seen this when we've been studying Surah Baqarah, because Allah Ta'ala speaks about ulaika alladhina ishtaraw. They are the ones who they have sold. Yeah, like we've seen recently. Ulaika alladhina ishtaraw ad-dalalata bil huda wal adhaba bil maghfirah. They are the ones who traded. Okay, they've attained misguidance at the expense of guidance. They attained adhab in the expense of maghfirah. Okay, so we often have this in life. Yeah, we have these kind of transactions that we do that we don't realize. So for example, like we waste our time, okay, time which is valuable, and we fill it up with like TV. Yeah, waste. Like that's a transaction that has failed. Okay, or for example, we have money which is a benefit and we waste it on like pointless things. Transaction failed. Okay, we have health. Okay, but like a person smokes, okay, or destroys their health, transaction failed. And likewise, a person has guidance, the Quran has a guidance, but instead they attain that, they waste that and instead engage in misguidance. Point for us here with respect to this is what is the connection between loss and time is when you abuse the time and you do not use the time effectively. Time is a gift. Allah has given it to you, and you should use it in the best of your ability. But the point is that if you do not, then you're in a extreme amount of loss. It's like this is like an investment. This is like a golden opportunity to kind of make it big. But you know, if you don't use your time well, then what happens is that, you know, khalas, you just left upset. You lost out. If only. Okay. In addition to that, one of the roots of the meanings that we could take from khusr is that it means like a bad ending or a terrible death. Right? We often have to think, you know, reflect upon this. That Allah will, you know, everything that we do will be taken into account by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for. And everything that we do, you know, you live a good life, you have a good akhirah. And part of having a good life is to use the time well. That's the point. The final ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala now makes an exception. Illa, except الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. So except for those who have believed and done righteous deeds and advised each other. وتواصوا is advised each other بالحق, to the truth, and advised each other to patience. Ibn Taymiyyah, rahmatullah alayhi, great scholar of the past, he said that, you know, with respect to the truth, okay, attaching to the truth, okay, attaching to what is true, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, people struggle with this because of two things. They either struggle with this due to doubts, the doubt whether, you know, is this even true? Is this whole religion even, you know, doubts in the heart. This is known as shubuhat in Arabic, when you have doubts. The other problem, or the other issue, the other barrier that people face is shahawat, desires, temptations. So on the one hand, you have doubts with respect to the affair, and on the other hand, you have temptations, desires that try to push you away. Okay. Now, the issue of enjoining people upon truth, that deals with the issue of doubts. Like we have to fortify our faith. We have to learn who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is. Al-Haq here, but also Bil-Haq, one of the names of Allah is Al-Haq. So it's almost as if we're joining each other to the truth, i.e. Allah, meaning to learn about Him. And when we learn about God, our doubts go away. Very simple. Why do people have doubts in faith? They don't know who God is. Someone said to me, like, I'm doing like this class about like the names of Allah with a group of people, and one of the people comes, he goes, I can't remember the last time I've heard someone to speak about God. Just tell me who my Lord is, right? Like we hear about everything, like and there's lots of good things, but like when's the last time you just heard who Allah is? Okay, that's the thing. That's interesting. But the point here, what the Wa'asaw bil haqq, to enjoin each other upon truth, that gets rid of the intellectual problem, those doubts. And then with respect to, then what's the other thing? What the Wa'asaw bil sabr, and then enjoining each other upon patience, that deals with the issue of desires and temptations. The desire is there, you need to be patient. You're tempted by something, by the dunya, by shaitan, by evil people, you're tempted to go towards sin, no, you be patient. So this is like a blueprint of how we can live our life, right? This is how we kind of fortify ourselves. Now the issue of patience, okay, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions here what sabr, okay, the issue of patience. The nature of the human being is that human being, due to being extremely busy in life, running around in life, we become obsessed with the worries of the dunya, and as a result of that, we work so hard, okay, due to trying to deal with the worries of this life. So like, how am I going to live? Okay, how am I going to survive? How am I going to eat? Okay, need to work hard. Okay, I got to think, okay, if I've got a mortgage now, and if I do extra time work, then that means that I'll be able to save more. Okay, let's do more work, go crazy. People do that, right? Do extreme crazy hours, right? And what that is what is the end goal? You want to be comfortable, isn't it? Like you work like mad. Why? So I can just relax, and I don't have like these worries. Forgetting the fact that, what about the worries of the akhirah? What about the investment of that? What about the hours that we need to put in for that? So what happens with the human being is that in the endeavors of dunya, we will get so embroiled in it to the extent where we're just like, okay, I need to keep working, need to keep going, right? Because ultimately I want to be comfortable. Forgetting the fact that we're going to die, and it's all going to end, right? And then we got to stand up, and then we got to test whether what's the real end goal, okay? And as a result of that, we often forget about the problem. Like the point is that we forget about the problems of the akhirah, and we just get embroiled in the problems of the dunya. Okay, true sabr is when you have patience, okay, with this dunya, because you're patient for what is to come next. And as a side point, like sometimes often like people go through difficulty, and sometimes we need like a self-check sometimes. Are we going through difficulty? We don't know like what other people are going through, isn't it? Number one. And sometimes like you're going through difficulty, like it could be a lot worse. Like I had a car accident recently, and like you think, subhanallah, like still fine, limbs fine, everything's fine, I just think subhanallah. And like sometimes as well, when I'm driving back from work, like actually subhanallah, a couple of weeks ago I was driving back from work, extreme traffic. I'm like, hey, what's going on? And I see like a car crippled, like didn't even look like a car. I think, subhanallah, someone was in that, and like, so you just start, sometimes you think, like you go through tests, and it's hard for you to think that sometimes, but that's supposed to come straight away. Like I think could be worse. Alhamdulillah, at least I survived. At least everything's fine. At least I only hurt my car, which is like nothing. Yeah. That's a high level. Yeah, that's a high level when you're able to kind of like just say, okay, it's okay, right? May Allah make us like that. The true sabirin, they will feel patience straight away. That's a sabir. That's the true patient one. Okay, the patient in this affair. In addition to that, this issue of like when we say wal asr, like we say by time. One of the things that we reflect upon is by time, meaning that time that has gone past. Like look, if you think about like the greatest times, like when Allah created Adam alayhi salam, when Allah created the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when Allah revealed the Quran to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when Allah drowned the people of Noah and saved Noah alayhi salam, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala drowned Pharaoh and saved Musa alayhi salam. Okay, the Battle of Badr, okay, the Battle of Tabuk, all these great, like that was the time. And so oftentimes, like when we say wal asr, what should go on in our mind that like by time, like remember time, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made great affairs in time gone by, right? In time gone by, there were great affairs that took place. So the point is, we don't want to lose out. We don't want to lose out. Okay, we don't want to lose out from that greatness. Another interesting thing one of the teachers said, subhanAllah, like you got like sightseeing and stuff, and you see like pyramids in Egypt or something, or like Stonehenge or something. Like, what time was that? Years ago. Where are those people? Long gone. Allah just puts, like, sometimes you see all these sites, like Allah puts them there just to remind you, like, all this will just be a monument, right? It will just be, it will all just be ghost town in 100 years. We won't be remembered. Just like the pyramids, right? No one remembers those people. No one remembers it. So when you sometimes you look at like a monument, you think, subhanAllah, like, how long ago was that? What happened to those people? Years will go past and we will go. Right? That's the point. Effectively, what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying in here is that man is in default in loss. Okay? And he's default in loss in this world and in the world to come. However, if he's a person who has faith and does good actions, okay, and encourages towards patience and encourages towards truth, then he won't be in loss. That's the point. So this illa is an exception. Now, what do we say in Arabic? What's this exception called?
Effulgence.
No.
Istithna.
Istithna. Okay.
Istithna.
So basically, with exception, you have like a group, then you have an exception, then you have something small comes out. That's the exception.
Oh, yeah.
So here, what's the group here? The group is all men are in a state of loss, right? Now Allah Ta'ala is taking a group out of them, saying except, hang on a minute, except, right? So what that first of all shows that majority of people are in loss. Like majority of people will long term be in a state of loss. That's the majority, okay? Except who? Except those the following. So Allah Ta'ala is saying, look, the majority of people here, they're going to be in loss. But there's a few out of that. Okay? And we hope that Allah makes us of the few. I mean, okay? Like, subhanAllah, one of the hadith, one of the du'as of one of the companions was, Allahumma ij'alna min al-qaleel. Oh Allah, make me of the few. Just those few people, okay, who are special. Because like the hadith of the Prophet that Islam began as something strange and it will return as something strange. Fatuba lil-ghuraba. So glad tidings to those strange ones. In an age now where it's strange to be religious, it's strange to be someone who's on the path. Okay, majority of the people are going that way. You want to go this way. That's it, and that's what that illa does. It's like all of this, yeah, it's all there, except wait. All of these other people now, alladhina amanu wa amilu salihat, they are not in loss. Okay, so illa is again to try and wake us up a little bit. Okay, what's even more beautiful is this. Previously, what did I say about insan? What plurality is it? Single. Now Allah, He says, except alladhina. What does alladhina mean? Those amanu. This is not plural. So it's going from singular to plural. What that means is that to be a person of true faith, like alladhina amanu, to be a person of true faith, okay, it's about unity with the people of La ilaha illallah. Like the one common thing that we have with all people is what? La ilaha illallah. That's the one thing. Okay, and you know how like we spoke about in our previous on Tuesday about the point fi shiqaqin ba'id, that group who's just far away. Like this is the thing. Those people who they say, look, we're on the truth, nobody else. Okay, no, that's like damnation. That's loss. Okay, That's what like teachers say. Anytime you find somebody who's like, everybody else messed up, we're the right ones, run away from them. Run away, because that's misguidance. Okay? Alladina amanu, iman. Iman, the end goal of iman is what? Tranquility. Sakina. Okay? And how does that actualize? Meaning that no matter what happens with regards to the dunya, it doesn't matter. Why? Because Allah Ta'ala has got something great for us. The life to come. That's what iman, that's the end goal of iman, right? Iman, as we said, is that feeling of goodness. Like you do something good, you feel good about it. And you have good hope in Allah that Allah will reward you for that. And when you do something bad, you kind of feel bad about it. And you're scared of the consequences. That's faith. That's faith. Meaning that you're just in peace. You're at peace. Okay? You're in a state of, salam, just, peace. Like, we see the hadith Qudsi where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, look, oh my slave, be content with what I've got, with what I've given you. Be happy with what I've given you. Because when you are, I'll bring tranquility within your heart. But if you're not content with what I give you, and all you do is run more and more for the dunya, then I will let the dunya let loose on you. And you're going to run like mad, and you're only going to get what I apportion for you anyway. A true person of faith, he remembers, look, no matter how much I work, no matter how much I do, I'm only going to get what Allah has written for me. When you really actualize that, it doesn't matter if it's less. It doesn't matter if it's more. It doesn't matter. Okay? There's a story of a man, and like I mentioned, he goes, he's giving a khutbah, Imam giving a khutbah, and a person comes to him and shows him something. He says, Alhamdulillah. And then the person comes back a bit later and he shows him something, he goes, Alhamdulillah. And the Musallin after say to him, look, what was this? Someone showed you something, he said, Alhamdulillah first time, they said, Alhamdulillah second time. And he goes, I have a business, cargo business, okay? And the person came to me and told me that all my cargo, all my ships, everything has been destroyed. So Alhamdulillah, fine. And he goes, then the person comes back about 10 minutes after and he goes, actually, no, it's a mistake. Everybody else is gone, yours is all right. Alhamdulillah. This is the believer. It doesn't matter. Fine, it will come again. Okay. That's a different state. And subhanAllah, when seismic shifts take place, literally, seismic shifts take place, like earthquakes and stuff, things go like this. Like your house, finished, collapsed, that's it. Okay, gone, that's it, nothing. And people go through that life, right? Go through that. These people, what happened at the Grenfell Tower, subhanAllah, everything's burned in front of them. Cave, what life is that? What are they gonna do now? What's to do now? You just think subhanAllah, then we worry. Huh? Now, how do we? Okay, so the point is that tranquility is the end goal. How do we get that? Amilus salihat. Do good actions. Now, what's interesting here is this. Amilu is first a verb. Okay. Now that's important because if we said that we must do if it was a noun tense, that means all we have to do is actions. So Allah has made it time bound. First thing. Second thing, He's used the word salihat. Now salihat, in and of itself, if it was salihah, with the ta marbuta, that would mean an abundant amount. Because like we said, remember previously we said in Surah Humaza, humas and lumas are the affairs, right, of speaking bad and treating bad. But then when you add the ta marbuta, it gives more emphasis. Humazah, lumazah. For example, I said qiyam means to stand. Qiyamah is the day of qiyamah. So here, if Allah said salihah, right, that would be an abundant amount of deeds. But salihat, it means a few. So Allah is saying to do a few good deeds and you will taste that tranquility. But Allah brings salihat in what state? What type of word is it? As-salihat.
Noun.
Noun. Now the nature of nouns is what is permanent. What this is showing is even if you do a little, just do it regularly. Because regularity is what strengthens faith. There's no point trying to do big things if it's not like, the nature of a human being, generally the nature of the human being, that, you can't do like huge things. Like I was speaking to somebody and they're like, okay, I'm going to get up, I'm going to do tahajjud. Tomorrow I'm going to smash out loads of tahajjud. I was like, look, relax, okay? First, get used to waking up at that time, right? Just wake up. Just wake up at that time and just sit. Like our teachers would say, like, you want to go for tahajjud, just for a week, just wake up at that time. Because the time is blessed. Even if you're awake, alhamdulillah. Then slowly, then after that, just wake up and make dua. Stay in your bed if you want, just make dua. Then after a period of time, now get up. Okay? Just get up and walk and make dua. Okay? Then move on to tahajjud. Like, the human being can't do drastic. But it's better that you work on something slowly, and then you ensure that you kind of it's something that is regular. So as-salihat encapsulates all those things. It's something that is a small amount, but something that is done regularly. Okay, that's how iman strengthens. When you do things small but regular, that's what's encapsulating the salihat. In addition to that, this word salihat comes from sad, lam, and ha. So sad, lam, ha, saluha means to make something correct or to make something better. So the nature of salihat is beautiful because it not only means that you do good actions, i.e. correct actions, but they are such that they make you correct as well. See that? So it's not only you're doing the actions that are correct, but in and of themselves, they make you good and correct and better.
Like purifying you.
Yeah, it's like tahir mutahhir. It's something that is pure, it's in of itself, and it purifies. Okay? So if you want to be tranquil, you want to taste that tranquility, do good actions. Even if they're small but regular. Because what that will do is not only, the point is that it will better your own state. That's the point. And allow you to taste that tranquility. May Allah allow us to taste it. I mean, finally, this word, watawasaw, tawasaw. Tawasaw comes from the meaning to command someone to do something, or to charge someone to do something, or to encourage someone to do something. Like one of the root words is a wasiyah. What's a wasiyah? Will. Yeah. So if you think about a will is like the last words and the last pleas that you have for who? Like who's going to read the will? The family, the beloved ones, the close ones, those ones who are close by, right? So it's almost as if tawasaw encapsulates the meaning of to encourage the loved one, meaning a loving type of encouragement, a personal connection. Okay, like advising someone in a beautiful way. Like nowadays you try to tell someone something, right, and like they get so defensive. They're like like you say, look, like sister, I think you should kind of wear hijab. Why don't you tell your mom and your sister? They don't wear it. Like people get so defensive. And it's like, take the advice for what it is. And also this word tawasaw comes from on the pattern of tafa'ala, which means mutuality. So I might command you to do something, you might command me to do something, alhamdulillah. Work together. Right? Sometimes often you find those people who give advice, they can't even take it. You know what I mean? Like that, well, excuse me, why tell me? I'm the advice giver here, right? But the point is that, and I want to finish with a beautiful story. There's a story of Hazrat Umar radhiyallahu anh, and he was the emir. He was the commander of the believers. He was the second Khalifa of Islam. And one of the things that he would do in an attempt to kind of ensure that everyone enjoying the good and forbid the evil, he would walk up on the streets and he would just see what's going on in people's houses and stuff like that, right? With the intention that I want to make sure everybody's behaving themselves. One day he's walking past and he sees someone drinking alcohol. So he breaks into his house and says, "You're drinking alcohol. It's haram." And the man says, "Okay, I've done one haram, but you've done 3 harams. First of all, you looked into my house. Second of all, you barged in without my permission. Third of all, you made an assumption I potentially probably wasn't drinking alcohol." And he said that to Amir al-Mu'mineen, Hazrat Umar. Hazrat Umar said, "Yeah, you're right." And he walked away. And then a week later, Hazrat Umar is given the khutbah on the minbar, and he sees that man walk in. And after the khutbah, he says to him, now on, I don't look outside. I don't look at people's houses, and I didn't tell anybody about you. And you know what the man said? He goes, "That day you saw me, after that I've never drunk alcohol." You see how encouraging each other towards goodness? encouraging each other, like that's the concept. When you have that relationship with someone, that's a friend. When you can advise that person and you're willing to take advice as well, that's a friend. Until you're, then it's just all niceties, so nice, okay. But to get to a level when you're at that level when you can advise and be advised, that's a greater level. Okay, that's a greater level. All right, these things, amanu, amilu salihat, tawasaw bil haqq wa tawasaw bis sabr, these are the key things to ensure that we become of those who do not be in loss, okay. Why is haqq mentioned first? What was about haqq first, then sabr? Because haqq, truth, okay, attaching to the truth, attaching to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that's primary. Like, how can you be a person who's effective in patience? You have to recognize who Allah is first. Because if you don't recognize Allah, you don't recognize what this dunya is. We don't recognize the temporality of it. We don't recognize we're going to stand in front of Allah. So then when we go through a test, when we go through difficulty, we don't have that in our kind of mindset. So when you understand who Allah is, understand that everything started from Allah, everything will end with Allah, we are all going to go back to Allah. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. From Allah we came and to Him we will return. When you have that in your mindset, then when it comes to a difficulty or a trial or a test, you remember, I'm going back to Allah, because you've already attached to the truth. So when you attach to the truth, patience then becomes easy. That's why al-haqq is mentioned first, because that's the thing that we work upon first. Okay. Final point. What did Imam Shafi'i rahmatullah alayhi say about this surah? He said that if people were to reflect upon this surah, it would be enough for them. And if you think about it, like, you know, this is, it's a very powerful statement what he said, because the nature, like human beings, like we are in loss. There's no doubt about it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala just hit us with the truth there. We are in loss. Every moment that's going by, we're in a state of loss. And if we do not become of those who attach, believe solely, okay, do those small, good, permanent, regular acts, encourage each other towards truth and patience, then we will be of those who are lost. We must become of those who are attached to them. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, جَعَلْنَا مِنَ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ. Okay, Ameen. Okay, any questions? No? Okay, then as for the sunnah of the companions, then we will close with wal-Asr, inshallah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Wal-Asr, inna al-insana lafi khusr, illa alladhina amanu wa amilu salihat, wa tawasaw bil-haqq wa tawasaw bis-sabr. Jazakumullah khair. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi.